there everybody and welcome back for another week of Wargames Tutorial Thursday with your host, your favorite Finn TMS. Starting a little bit quick and all that right off the bat. Just rushed myself from the store so I can get in here. Haven't been on for a couple of weeks or a month or whatever. Oh, I should say this is the weekly Q&A FAQ. What are the community gathering in the Interstellar Marines. The show that, whatever. Weekly live stream, weekly gathering. Not so much weekly, but whatever. Let's roll with it. But without further ado, let's get to the news, shall we? There ain't much really. They are gathering and coming up with the ideas, and from the looks of it, it looks like there's been a work on the audio for the future weapons, and I think there is a possibility that they are looking into how feasible would it be to make more weapons. It's the same way this pistol is done, using the existing assets and simply more or less changing the attributes and the options, what they will do. Meaning that we could potentially have, like, let's say, take this assault rifle and remove the red dot sight and just leave the scope with maybe more magnification in it. Make it single fire only, and we have DMR in a way. Or if we, let's see, what could we do with this thing? Just slap a scope on in it. I don't know. Make it a burst fire only. Yeah, that could be. That would be idea. Burst fire SMG with I don't know, scope, making a battle rifle. Totally not copying Halo. Make another SMG by just having this pistol, but adding a full auto option on it, making Uzi. But yeah, it seems like that's something they are looking into, I think. Not entirely sure. And that's more or less all the news there are. There was a link posted by Boza in the general chat that had something about the military camouflages, and they used Interstellar Marines footage on it with the skins on the T-post, just small clip, and people are like, oh my god, sue them. Well, sorry for you all, but that's falls under the fair use, my friends. It's just not even a 3-second shot that is being used to iterate the since the Interstellar Marines, the suit looks a lot like the Russian whatever, the next generation exosuit or whatever we all see in the pictures. They first showed the whatchamacallit, the Russian suit, followed up by the Interstellar Marines about the active camouflage, and they were talking constantly on it, so the clip was not the main point of the Interstellar Marines suit was not the main point of the video as such. Well, whatever, the footage was not the main point of the video, so therefore there's nothing you can really do about it. There's no, like, somebody was also like, that was suggesting to send a DMCA takedown, which is Bit of a overkill for fair use. Because it's the footage was simply used as a visual illustration of an idea. There were plenty of other pictures. I saw Jurassic World was one of them. There were a whole bunch of movies and other video games aside from the Interstellar Marines that were simply used as a visual thing to, you know, make it seem interesting. Like what it would actually look like. Just a visual reference, nothing all. Nothing really else. So, not even music, it was constantly talked over, all parts. Just a visual image. So, you ain't taking down shit. If anything, you're getting yourself into more trouble. Okay. I think they have swapped. No, that can't be right. How are they so tough all of a sudden? And this one is not. That seems very random. But yeah. Enough of that chatter. I've been on vacation last week. For about a week. We went into a water park and it was blast. For her and for me. She enjoyed it. And so did I. And we're gonna do it next year again. And yeah, we also went to a zoo. And that's about it. Sorry, I don't have really much to talk. I'm kind of out of energy. Because, you know, back to work tomorrow and it's gonna be another 10-hour shift right off the bat. Because why not? No chance for any airsoft for weeks to come. I've been playing War Thunder lately, so having this BS, a tanky CTRS being all like, I'm not following the rules. It's not exactly what I'm looking for right now. Cause them tanks are being pain in the ass as it is. With the whole what shall penetrate and what shall not. Hell, whatever the... It's like, oh yeah, this will definitely penetrate. And then it's like, oh no, sorry. Okay then. I have no idea how are they so tough all of a sudden. God damn it, Bob? Is that a... No. It is not. Am I running some weird ITO build or some shit? First alignment done. It's a shame that I didn't listen where exactly was it. Una, you say? Well then. I was in wetlands. I shall not go over there again. Also, welcome to the stream, Musa. Musha boy dog G, your babe. Alright, your ass is grass, my friend. Using the alignment sounds as my camouflage. That son of a bitch! Giggle strikes again. Well then. Ah, it's a 3-man team. I should have paid more attention. Well then. Son of a... Actually, speaking of just using the existing... existing things to make new stuff. Removing the backpack, like adding the backpack as a thing to pick up in a Wargames. Of course, that would require. Okay. Since when have they been this tough? I wasn't listening to the announcement at all. I know they changed the AR settings, but the SMG should be still the same as before. So, adding the backpack as a pickup item, or simply removing the backpack from people who have no points. So when you start and when you gain a weapon, you don't have a backpack. But once you get points, then you get backpack. Ooh, Cinema Bane. I think he was trying to get footage of the tower as it moves. Fairly sure about that. You pick a wrong time to do that, buddy. I knew it. I think he's making a trailer of some kind. So, spoiler alert. Better luck next time, buddy. Wop, 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 wop. On random note, one of my favorite games, Ragnarok Online, is the server that I used to play on for... I had my character that I made like, what, 17 years ago or so? Has finally been deleted as the server has been shut down. And a new one is taking its place. So there's a forced reset in its place. And I'm absolutely all for that shite. So, Currently it's in the closed beta. Obviously I do have an access and I have been trying it, but it being all classical on that, it's gonna be full on grind fest, and indeed it already was, so it was a nice... No, it's actually not wasted, because the way I see it is the longer Ragnarok Online, like as longer the server goes on, the more stagnated it becomes. And by that I mean that there are... The game has godlike items. Like, they are literally called godlike. Damn it. And then there are cards. And there are cards that are being dropped by the world bosses. They're called the MVPs. And they are fairly powerful. It's fine to have a couple of them on a server, but once they become a common thing, that's when things get very boring. Especially for any newcomers, they don't stand a chance, more or less. Because you already have to grind for the basic gear, as it is. And for the basic gear, you need cards. And each card has a 0.01 drop chance. So 1 in 10,000 or 2 in 10,000, depending on the drop rate. I don't think they have changed it by much. And you need multiple for the weapons, usually. At least 2 for the weapon and 1 for each of the equipment you have. So, boots, chest, the robe, hat, shield, if you have one-handed weapon. So that's about from 5 to maybe 8 cards that you need already for the basic stuff. So you can imagine, like, they aren't, the regular cards are, they definitely give you advantage, but they don't make you invulnerable. And then there are more specific cards that are great for specific circumstances, without going too much into detail. And such. Yeah. If you don't, you have to put a lot of effort into it. The basic stuff on that game. For the War of Imperium, at very least. Well, too bad. This is all you got, mate. And, yeah. Not only that, you have the grind for the cards, you have the grind for the levels. It's gonna take a while, even with the premium, and at least back in my day, when I got my first level 99, which was max level at the time, it took me a 1 solid hour to get 1% to the progress bar. And thus, just dying, you would lose that 1%, 1 hour of work. So it was pretty catastrophic. No, just 100 hours for the level 98. So the, you know, getting the last level takes you roughly about 100 hours, depending how you do it. There are quicker ways than what I did, especially if you are in a party or something like that. There are also safer ways. It all comes down to what you do and what you have equipment for and all that jazz. But yeah, great news. And from what the one thing that really destroyed the game, or one of the reasons why, there are multiple reasons what really killed the game initially. New classes that increased the level gap from the maximum level was increased to 150 with the new third classes that came into the game. And that kind of, the stat points were very valuable. You would have to think where to put them because you have 6 different slots where to put the stat points. And if you want to max out, technically max out any of them to 99, you could go over that, but the cost for a single stat point at that point is too much. Where it doesn't really make sense. You'd use cards for that or to get that 1 extra point. And you can only fill 2 of them to 99. Glad to have my comedy duo Musha here with me. So, having those, thinking where to put them was crucial. When the rebirth was introduced, the levels were still the same, but you had like 100 extra stat points, which didn't really break anything. It gave you more options with extra points, but it was still balanced in a way. But then the third classes threw everything out of the window, because at that point you just go 120 stat points on something, and you can go like, I think at least 4 of them. Maybe 4 to 99, no problem. People wouldn't do that, but once you hit 99 or 100 stat points on something, you gain immunity. For example, immunity to silence, immunity to stun, I can't remember, whatever. And so what end up happening with the third classes, with so many that you can put in the 99 and over the 100, is they more or less became immune to everything, all the static effects. Except some specific ones like maybe bleeding, I don't know which. Only very few things actually cause bleeding on the game to begin with. I will never stream Fortnite, but you can ask my girlfriend, or rather fiance, when will she do streaming on Fortnite, because she's playing it on my computer. So yeah, the new server is a fresh start. It has the original classes, and all that jazz. Oh yeah, the thing that really killed the market is when you refined or upgraded your gear, there was always a chance that it would break after a specific point. And the server that I was playing in had a cash shop with items that allowed you to safely upgrade the gear without breaking it. Instead of breaking upon failure, you would lose a single upgrade point from it. So let's say if you have a +3 sword and you try to upgrade it on +4 and it fails, instead of breaking, you simply make it +2. And as such, you would only ever require just having one of those items to safely get it on something. Ideally, you would want 2, but now that there was no, you only ever needed to get 1 or 2 in your hands of that item. There was no market for them anymore, so they would be just finding that item, because that was one way to make money. Just search for that item by killing these brain dead mobs essentially, and you could make some decent money. But then, yeah, you can't make any if there's no one buying them, or rather, it's not worth trying to find an item, a shield with the same drop rate as a card when the value is practically 0, because nobody will buy that. It's a useless item because there are way better ones out there. And yeah. And from the looks of it, there is a cash shop on the new server, but it is it works a bit differently. And yeah, there's no. With the items have been tweaked from what, if I understood correctly. There is still a chance that the item will break, so you never you don't have the 100% safety on, which is a good thing because it means that. Damn it! Oh, me and my slow ass reactions. And that means the items will break and people need new items, and thus there is a market for them. So I'm really looking forward for this new server, but eventually it will have, from what I understood, it will also have the third classes. And when it does, that's when it kind of dies out again. I don't know. It seems like somebody said that they won't, but from what I understood, it will. Well, it's MMO, Musha. Aren't they all designed? Aren't the games just designed to? Okay, well that was lame. But yeah, Ragnarok Online, in the grand scheme of things, is a giant grind fest. And I sort of love it. Despite some of the... It has problems. It has no real endgame aside from War of Imperium, which is kind of this PvP event between all the guilds. And yeah, of course you could hunt for the world bosses, but what do you hunt them for? Especially, that's something that the third classes also did, is that they became so powerful that, you know, a single character could single-handedly more or less kill them all in a quick succession. Within minutes or seconds, and yeah. You can imagine when you can kill a world boss with a single character, there's not really much of an end game. But the War of Imperium was fun until, again, the third classes. Surprise, surprise. When everything becomes too powerful, it's no longer fun. Because you can't kill anyone. Well, either you can't kill anyone or you're so powerful you simply one-shot it with everything. Again with these cheap-ass camps. It's like I'm playing War Thunder all over again. Oh. I hate metagaming so bad it's not even funny. I hate it when people are just cheap in every game. Like, that's what I hate about games these days. The concept of fun is long fucking gone. The same actually applies for the Ragnarok Online also, but yeah. Like, I can't remember when was the last time I didn't play a video game that is ruined by a fucking metagame. Then again, in case of a War Thunder, it's not really a metagame that's ruining it. Well, it is that too, but it's the whole up-tiering BS. Which is like, oh, hey, look, you got a brand new shiny tank. Shame if you were put in the game that are 2 or 3 tiers higher than the tank that you just got. Ah, but when you finally have managed to grind through that, and you get a new one, so it's like, oh, okay, now you can actually fight against those guys, right? Nope. You're still getting up-tiered enemies. I'm not distracting you, you're distracting me. You're supposed to be listening to Horror Literacy audiobooks, not me. Speaking of which, how far did you get on the Fallen Angels? That you pirated, you filthy piece of ass. Yep. This is exactly how it feels to play War Thunder with those CTRs. Except I missed that time, but it's like earlier you saw all of the CTRs, you shoot them in the head. That should kill them instantly. Only to have them turn around, take a couple more hits, run into you, hit you once, and you die. Because your ammo rack explodes. A single shell always takes out your gunner and the driver for whatever reason. It's like, Jesus, if I didn't know any better, I'd say somebody is aimbotting. I shit you not, it's every single time, both, it doesn't matter what way my tank is, where am I in cover or in full speed, coming out of cover, just for a millisecond, my fucking driver and a gunner, every single time, eat it. Meaning my tank is both stationary and unable to shoot. Or even turn the turret. It's basically completely immobile. Let's see, where could our 3-man team be? I need a weapon. Unfortunately, the closest weapon that I know of is on the other side of this, underneath there. Well, fuck it. Ah, yes. No weapons. this be the most unfortunate? Not even ammo anywhere. That's a CTR. Oh, speaking of War Thunder, what really makes me mad is that when I do finally, it's like, oh, I have a superior tank with superior armor, superior weapon. I have the superior strategy. I'm ready for the enemy. I hit him. Oh, it glances off. It's like multiple tiers below me, that enemy tank, and it's still, whatever reason, I have my German mighty armor in an angle to maximize the protection, even though really the other tank shouldn't be able to do anything to me, even if I was facing it face forwards, and no, with a single shot it takes me out. I wasn't listening, but no, maybe resort? That might be it. There's so many things in that game that baffle my mind, like using the same tanks as people, getting in the same situations where it's like, alright, I'm shooting a higher tier tank that I will be getting at some point. See, this is exactly what I mean. That, when it should be a single shot to the head, like... Even you? So this is how it feels like to play War Thunder, really. Except I'm getting one shot by the enemy. And then when you get to the level, so let's say you have the same weapon as the CTRs, or this SMG that he was carrying, that he can one-shot you, it's like, alright. The same armor, same shed. Let's do this. Now I have the advantage. And hello. Nope. Still does. Using the same weapon, the same rules, still don't apply the other way around. And they still somehow manage to one-shot you. It's like, if I upgraded my Marine to these same CTRs, and then I come across a Marine, I should be able to one-shot them. Right? And they should not be able to penetrate mine. Well, neither one of those things are happening. I'm still getting one-shotted and I cannot penetrate their armor. And the worst part is you have an indicator that shows that whatever you can, what are the chances of penetrating the enemy armor. And I know the locations where to shoot at, but Still the game says no. And then the perfect shot comes in and rings the death toll. Or the worst part is that, you know, you penetrate their armor. Well, you get a hit. You hit exactly where you're aiming at, and you get a notification saying, hit, no penetration. Or you're aiming to the side of the breach, whatever you want to call it, the tube. The side of the cannon to get the enemy gunner so they can't shoot at you. That's a solid strategy, wouldn't you think? Yes, but you don't penetrate that section, even though the armor is thinner. Instead, you hit directly above the barrel, and you penetrate that, but nothing happens. It's like, alright, cool. You did some damage to the breach. They might have a misfire, which essentially means nothing. You just have to reload and fire again. Sometimes that is a good thing. But now, reverse the situation. My heaviest armor is in that same location. Right around the barrel. It gets punched straight through, no problem, by every tank possible. At which point I'm like, what the fuck, man? Me hates video games. Not only that, I don't seem to be able. They are taking bullets like nobody's business. The problem also is that they seem to hear me as if I'm firing unsilenced. I wanna play a game. I wanna play a brand new game with a world to explore that is also fun to play. That's something that even though the Ragnarok is getting a hard reset, the one thing that I'm kinda sad about in a way is that I still know every location, I know all the enemies. It's a fresh start, but there is nothing new for me to explore. And I remember that part being fun in that game. Also, have a good night, mate. Oh, work. Have a nice day at the work then. Just gonna sit here and let my doom come to me. Sort of wish there was like a free look mode where you would just turn your head instead of the whole body, because spinning like this with the long ass assault rifle, or well, Spinning your entire body around does catch attention. Instead of just moving the head. Now, judging from the points they are getting, they might be in the docking bay. Or they are in some other map gathering, or what else. But we're gonna be sitting here and complain about video games for the next 5 or so minutes until I have to go to Canyon to get the next one. These bushes, all the dirt flying as a a plane of existence in front of me. Fancy. I mean, it's a great way to make bushes, but when you're in one so close and you can see the whole thing, yeah. Fairly sure no one's coming. Well, time to hit the canyon then. Yeah. Oh, they were CTRs? Damn it. For a second, I thought they were actual players. Because they seemed like they were about to cut someone off. They moved tactically, they seemed thicker than what you'd expect from a CTR. Okay, there's a box here. So it's safe to assume they are in the docking bay. But they might teleport into Canyon from there. Well, to at least finish with some points, aka get shot by a CT at the last minute, I'm trying to rush this one and then run back. Incidentally, I wouldn't mind them making new weapons, even with just by with the proper what do you call it? Models? Because it doesn't really matter if they have the correct animations or not, so long as they are in game and they do what they should be doing. Not sure if that makes any sense, but let's say if you If you add the proper pistol model, just slap it in the arm. I mean, it looks funny because he's holding SMG or the AR, but still, yeah. At least it's there. Like, the animation looks weird, but at least it's like showing that, alright, we're actually doing stuff. Just add the animations later. Doesn't matter. Most of the guns are two-handed anyway, so aside from few exceptions, like the pistol, people would be fine with it. And it doesn't really affect the gameplay either. I mean, technically, if you're holding a pistol, your model, the player model, technically doesn't go as far. So in a sense, I don't know. So in that sense, it does kind of affect the gameplay because you can shoot the arm even if it doesn't have the pistol on it, which normally would be hidden. But for the rest of them, it's like, well, you could add a shotgun, sniper rifle. Yeah, all of them more or less have the same handling, and they look just fine. You can use the existing animations, just leave them there. Change the trigger handle, the trigger hand, whatever. That's the way I see it. Just add the animations later. Pain in the ass, but at least for the players that are playing, it's like, yeah, we get to do these all new shenanigans. I don't have enough time to go for that one. Well, that's the end of this week's Wargames Tutorial Thursday. I hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, guys, see ya.